Meeple Nation Podcast, episode 375, Meeple Nation June News.
Welcome, citizens of Meeple Nation. For the next 30 minutes, sit back and enjoy.
Meeple Nation Podcast is sponsored by GameToppersLLC.com. Go to their website, check out their amazing product. They have toppers that will fit on your regular tables. We are here with HUGG once again. We roped them into 2 episodes. We talk about game toppers that we have here. We have Andy's Mycroft that we're all kind of gathered around, which is really nice. It's better than my Watsons. If he put in his Leaf, we could all gather around this quite easily. Then we also have our 2 Watsons here, both with their extra long Leaf, which is a great product. You can go to their Kickstarter that just ended a few weeks back. Their late pledge will be open. You can get a topper that has legs, dining leaves. Replace your kitchen table with a game topper. Go to their website. That's GameToppersLLC.com.
Welcome to Meeple Nation. We are your hosts. I am Andy Holiday.
I'm Nathan Howard.
I'm Logan Howard, and we're with HUGG, so we're just going to go around the table.
Claudine, Marissa, Dee Dee, Linda,
Monique,
Julie, Sarah.
See, this time nobody had last names. Monique is just Monique, by the way.
Yeah. She wants to be like Madonna.
Yeah, that's a good name for that.
Dave had to take his son to school, so he might be popping back later.
This week we're talking about June news, but normally in news we'd do a little bit deeper dive into some of the games, but with HUGG here we just kind of want to talk more about some recent games that you've gotten or are excited about, maybe some Kickstarters that you're looking forward to.
So we usually start with highlights. For us, this weekend's a huge highlight. We're excited. We're excited to play a bunch of games. We got new games that hopefully we're all going to get to and experiencing. That's usually what we talk about at the first of the news episode. So we kind of wanted to refer that to you ladies. We wanted to know what recent gaming highlights you have had. What new game have you played that you're excited about? Let's start with you, Claudine. No pressure.
No pressure. I have a lot of unplayed games, so...
No judgment.
Yeah, I have no room to talk there. I probably have 100.
I haven't quite gotten there, but for this weekend, I prepped Praga. That will be a fun one. I've just gotten Red Cathedral recently. I'm excited about that because we really like dice allocation. That seems to be a big thing in our group right now. It's just the unique ways you can use dice. I've got Whistle Mountain. I haven't gotten that one out yet. There's that Pinball Arcade. It's a roll and write. I haven't played that yet. Julie, we just recently played Lost Ruins of Arnak.
What did you think of that? I'm currently playing my first game with Dave online, and I'm really enjoying the game so far.
It's a fun game. You know, it's a fast game, and you build up, and by the end you have these explosive turns, so that was really fun.
I think we always like exploration games, too. And a lot of those tend to be space, so this was fun to have more of an archaeological twist on it, which is also a good way to explore.
Like we were talking about before, it's really fun to get out a game, and it's fun to buy it, like Sarah loves to buy. But for me, it's opening it, it's punching out the pieces, it's setting them out, it's reading the rules, and then you play a round or two. And I don't know about other people, but I can usually know if I'm going to like a game by playing it a couple of rounds by myself. And that's probably not fair to some of the games, but for my taste, I feel like... And sometimes you get excited about a game and then it's not as good as you think it's going to be. And then other times you haven't heard about a game. Sometimes those are the best games. I think when we played Rajas of the Ganges, we were at SaltCon a couple of years ago and we had seen it and it was like, I don't know, it doesn't look that good. But we sat down and both of us at the end were blown away with how much fun it was.
It's a great game.
It's one that I had in cold. I wasn't as enthralled with it. But I only played it the one time.
You would like it with us.
That doesn't surprise me.
But I think that was our experience with that Great Western Trail, too, was that it was a popular game for so long, and we just never played it.
Well, then we inherited a copy. And
sometimes if a game is built up and built up and built up, and then you finally play it, and you go, oh, I was so excited about that, and it kind of fell flat for me. So sometimes it's good to read reviews, and other times it's not.
Yeah, and going by reviews, that's one thing that, you got to find somebody who has similar tastes and styles as you, because there's a lot of people out there that I really enjoy this game, and they're a popular reviewer, and it's their style of games are not my style of games. And so, yeah, they might be saying, this game is great, this game is garbage. If you appeal to those games that they think are garbage, I mean, that reviewer might not be for you.
Yeah, we don't like high confrontational games. Those aren't our favorite. Area control we were talking about, that's not our favorite. We like optimization. We like...
civ building.
Yeah, storytelling. Those kinds of games. And now it seems like, okay, when a new game comes out, is it going to be different enough from something else in our collection to warrant wanting to play it? And yes, it always is, but...
I'm curious what everybody thinks about Pulsar. What is it,
2049?
2049, because
I haven't
love
played
that
one.
game.
I wanted to play that one, but I never played it.
I can't ever remember the numbers. Somebody introduced it to me. You were Claudine, Julie or Claudine, and I love that game. Like, I would love to choose that again soon.
I know Logan is talking about all his Kickstarters. And you guys got me to buy Isle of Cats when you were talking about that on
It's such a great random game.
I love that game.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I'm super excited about Seventh Citadel, which is really the follow-up, but I always wanted Seventh Continent because the Choose Your Own Adventure seemed like, wow, this is going to be the greatest game ever. But when it came out, I just never got it, and people loved it, and they loved that you could set it up and keep it up.
Come over and play it, because that's the last game I bought. That was like 2 years ago. And I still haven't played it. No.
Oh.
I finally just gave up buying games because I have no one playing with. Because
I
I
would
still
love
haven't
to
played
play
it
that
either.
game. I remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books,
Yeah.
and so, okay, put that in game form, and it seems like the greatest game ever. We like storytelling games.
We do too.
We have an issue with campaign and legacy games.
Yes. Well, lately, that seems to be all we're buying is campaign games or legacy games.
Which are great games. It's just they take way too much time. That's the downside, is that we just don't have more days.
I've had Clank Legacy in shrink for over a year now because I don't want to break it open. Sometimes you break open a game and then some of the fun is opening that. You want to get out a legacy game when you know you can start it and play it and finish it. You don't want to start it, because how long was it with pandemic?
It took us a long time because we kept wanting that same 4 group to get together and would wait until all 4 of us were available, which was very rare, and that made it really difficult to get through. So I love legacy games, but it's very hard to get them to the table.
For Pandemic Season 1, Brent and I started that, and then we were swapping in people here and there. And it was really frustrating when you played with somebody who was very disinterested in the game, weren't making optimal decisions that would help the collective.
Some of the fun is the memories that you've had from the previous sessions that you've named a disease, or you've go back to those memories, and if they haven't shared in the whole experience, it loses some of its...
So that's when we played Season 2. It was just he and I. We didn't include anybody else. It was just he and I, so that we could have those experiences. I played Season 1 3 times. I played once with the 4 of us, Logan, Dave, and Andy, and then I played once with my wife and I, which I was really excited because that was a game that she'd be involved in and play. And then I played one time with Brent. With Season 2, same thing. You played with my wife. Her and I went through it, and Brent and I went through it. The 4 of us, Dave, Andy, and Logan and I, started Season 2. I think we just played the first one, right?
First one, yeah.
Wasn't that last year, so it didn't count towards your game goals for this year, and that's why we didn't play it again?
It all comes
that may
back
be
to
the
the
case,
goals.
yeah.
Problems of gamers.
My wife and I have started Season 0. We're into August, and ironically, we haven't lost a game yet. I don't feel like we're doing anything wrong. You know, I've gone over and reread things, but we've just been very lucky. And things aren't going great, right? There's a lot of disruptions that's on the board, a lot of surveillance that's on the board. I'm a little bit disappointed. We're starting Game 8. I really enjoy the game. I really enjoy how different each of those are. But the experiences, and you talk about that gaming experience that came with Pandemic Legacy. By far, I can easily say that was my greatest gaming experience, experiencing that whole game. The memories and the shock that comes with it when things go wrong, that whole experience. Great.
Naming diseases and just gaming terminologies is really interesting to me. We're into August, and everyone else would be like, how long does this game take?
Yeah.
Maybe that would be a good topic one time, is all these game terminologies. But I think just coming back, and we'd have these inside jokes because... Can you remember the names of the diseases?
Schmita was one of them, because for some reason someone got on this kick about what Shemitah was, and one was named after a dictator.
Because there was something in the news that week. That's what gaming is about, is the experiences that you develop with other people. And
the
we call it gaming therapy. I mean, it's...
I think that's spot on. It is very much stress relieving and anxiety relieving to play these games. But quickly go back, Sarah, that's Pulsar 2849.
Oh, 2849.
I knew it had to be way later.
That is a fantastic game. Yeah. And I was thinking, what games have you guys enjoyed, Marissa and Meaty, since you joined the group?
Goa, I think that was
Goa
like
is
one
a
of
great
the
game, yeah.
first ones maybe that I played.
I love that game. Do you have Goa? Did we give it to you?
You guys gave it to me.
Oh,
for my
I'm so jealous because I can't get a copy
birthday.
now.
I like every game, really, that
Yeah.
we play. I wish we played them more than once.
I
I feel
like
like
we talked about
I feel like you play it one time and you don't have like strategy or anything.
The
You
second
never play
time
it
is
again.
always better.
Yeah.
Marissa, I remember one of the first times we played at your house, we played Sidereal Confluence. I was like, wow, you're a really good gamer. You are too. But I was like, I was impressed that right off the bat, you just could do it. It's just been fun to play with all of us and like learn, what we like and dislike. And
I'm probably the most cult of the new. I don't know what it is. I watch a video, and if it looks like it's going to go out of stock, or if it looks like you have to track down a game, then it's even more desirable to go seek out that game. Awkward Guests I got because it had kickstarted over in Europe and it had fulfilled, and they were going to do one over here, and things kind of fell through, and so it was a quest to find that game. And then it becomes one of the many that,
It sits on the shelf.
that sits on the shelf. One
But
that
you have it.
But I have it
Yeah.
now.
We played it once.
We did.
I've played it a bunch. It
Okay.
plays great solo. Recommend Awkward Guests. It's
wow.
because it's Clue but fun, Clue but interesting,
Clue
and
but fun.
and some people complain about having to get all the cards out and put them all back, and I think it's a small price to pay for the 2 hours of fun that you're going to have in between. And I'm horrible at that game. I think Julie always wins that when we play it. I will be like, oh, I think I have this figured out. I'm not even close. Maybe that's why I still find it just as fun, because I like games more when I am not really good at them, because then you want to get better at them.
There's that challenge factor.
Mm-hmm.
And I like games that I win. Oh, I just won that. I'm buying it.
See, there's games like that I win a lot, and it's only fun because people get upset about it. Best thing about Charter Stone, there were groups that did not like my game strategy, but I kept winning. So it's like, why am I going to change my strategy if I'm still winning?
If no one's going to change their strategy to stop you, because that's what everybody complained about your strategy. I was like, well, did we do anything to stop him? No.
Yeah.
Then take on that strategy and try it yourself.
Yeah.
All right, Linda.
Yeah, I'm hoping this time to play The Crew, which I know isn't like a big heavy game, but
it's fun.
Supposed to be super fun, and yeah, it's one that I recently bought, but of course I haven't had anybody to play with. I'm looking forward to that.
And it needs 3, so it's hard with just a couple.
That's true.
That should be fun. Sometimes cooperative games are funny to me because depending on who you play it with, we just end up cheating, so I'll win, but I'm hopeful.
When we're all trying to win together.
When we're all,
that's
because
right.
suddenly the rules bend just a little.
Well, just like sometimes people are like, we're not supposed to talk on this game, but then they're whispering like Claudine taught us The Crew. And,
even in The Crew, it's like, wow.
There are so many ways.
There's so many ways to cheat.
My kids will be like, put their hands about, like, you can't do that. They're like,
I'm doubting.
Well, and the last time we played The Crew, I put down a card because I thought Claudine needed to lose, and Julie's like, she needs to win. And I'm like,
and she's like, oh, I can take that one. Well,
that's the card she's trying for. So
pay attention. Also, we're hoping we could have a great big game of Lords of Vegas. That's one of my all-time favorites.
We heard you had never played.
yes,
It's
played
so
Nice.
much fun. It's a really fun game.
You're asking about city building games, and I
Okay.
mentioned it.
Yeah.
And we decided everybody has to try that at least once.
And we don't want to oversell it, but it is fun.
It is amazing, and it will change your life.
I have a story because I remember that I was supposed to go to a funeral. Then these guys were like, no,
Doesn't
come
make
play
sense.
games. The thing is that they were teaching me Lords of Vegas. I was like, okay, I'm going to go for like a half an hour to the funeral, and then I'm taking off, and then I have to leave. And so then I ran over to their house. They taught me Lords of Vegas, and it was the best game ever, and I was worth missing the funeral.
All right, Monique.
I haven't really bought any games. I said I bought Seven Continent about 2 years ago it came out. Still haven't played it, so
we
yeah.
need to change that. And I've even told Sarah, if we'll give you the names, I'll prep the games, I will read the rules. She likes the games that she knows. But that's okay, too.
So, Claudine, do you want to move to Ogden?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my game collection is very small
compared to Nathan's, but it's very big.
I try to keep mine down. I have 292 games, but I've had 280 previously owned. I'm trying to get down to 200. I want to keep it right around 200. But then I go through my game collection and I think, oh, I can get rid of that.
You're doing the opposite of what we're doing. We're having a race. And I'm losing.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, when we started to count how many games we had, it quickly became a competition.
But you're not wrong. Claudine's an amazing resource because of what she'll do. She will bring out the most complicated game. And she makes it all make sense.
Yeah. I feel like they both have been very good
Lisboa.
for me. Yeah.
Lisboa.
Oh, Lisboa is the worst game ever for
I
me.
love that. And yet you explained it so well, and you held all our hands.
And he's my favorite
designer.
I know.
We just shouldn't have played 2 copies of the same.
Gallerist and Kanban are 2 of the best games ever made.
They won't give it a chance.
We've tried it 3 times.
3 times.
That's a 3-gamer
I
for
think
us.
mentally you were just like, we're not going to like this game.
Yeah. There was someone we were playing with that made it not
kind
quite
of.
as fun. The trouble is we had a game night and there were 2 Lisboas on the table at the same time. Claudine was teaching all of us, but she was at the other game. So every time we had a question, we had to pull her over. And so they weren't getting their game played. And we had someone that I think it takes 3 brains to take her turn. So, of course, her turns were the most optimal because we helped her on her turn every time. It was a bad experience in the beginning, although he's my favorite designer.
So, Monique, going back to you, Seventh Continent. You haven't played that yet?
I haven't played it, and I haven't taken a look at Kickstarter. With young kids, I'm like, why would I buy a game that I'm not going to play?
Kickstarter's kind of like that because you buy things like 3 years ago, and then
that's
they
true,
just
and it comes
takes,
later.
and then you have to wait 2 more years to actually get them to play.
Grown up.
Yeah, you'll have teenagers by the time your Kickstarter fulfills.
No, I love new games. Unboxing them and punching them out.
It's so fun.
It's so fun to have new games. And currently, all my games are in storage right now until we move into our house next month. Hopefully, they're okay.
They're building it.
Hopefully
Linda
they're
likes
okay.
buying games and leaving them in the shrink.
I leave mine in shrink until I'm ready to play.
Until I'm ready to play, yes. I'll open it once I'm
That
playing.
takes all
But
the fun out
what
of
if
it.
you never play it?
It's fun to open it, and sometimes it loses a little bit of its allure for me when I've opened it and punched it out and put it back.
Really?
I have to get it out, and it's like getting it in the mail again. This is still in shrink. I get to open it, read it, play it.
Or else you're like,
I
oh, it's already open. I don't want to play it.
That one's already open. I don't.
It's not as
I find
exciting.
for me.
But I see them judging me if I just see them from shrink.
The judgment's just coming off the shelf.
Like, you haven't played me. By, like,
On the shelf of shame.
Yeah, so if I take that wrap and like punch it and everything, put it back, it doesn't judge me as bad because it just blends in with everything else.
Shiny.
So, Monique, I don't know if this will end up being the case for you, but when I get a new game, I have to hide and open it.
Yes, you have to be alone.
I have to be by myself because if I'm not, I have all of my kids out punching everything. And I want to do that.
No, it's my game. Let me enjoy it. Yeah, I'm not...
Respect the game.
So
That's a
growing
phrase that is in our household.
What are you doing? Respect the game.
No, I used to hide and open it just so my husband didn't know another game was coming. But we're in the stage of our relationship where he's just like, another game just came. He doesn't even care anymore. Like, it's just
That's the reason I would open it, just so it's not glaring that someone just bought a new game.
dirt on
He
it.
sprinkles some dust on it.
See, it's been here forever.
By the time I actually get it out and play through it so I can prep it for a game night or something, oh, is that a new game? No, I've had it for like
months.
a year.
I've had it, yeah.
Because I really have had it for a year, but we just haven't played it yet. But I love when Amazon or Miniature Market shipment shows up when my husband's at work. That's always handy.
That's the problem with my husband working from home now. I'll get home and I'll
mine is
see,
too.
oh, it's been delivered. It's been delivered, so it's opening the door and bringing it in, and he'll always walk up as I'm opening the box. Hello, did you get another game?
I sold a bunch.
Yeah, I
Claudine's
did.
good at
And
selling
then you
games.
have to get free shipping, and then like miniature.
You have to
market.
get free shipping, yeah.
They sent me a $10 off for my birthday, so I bought the
Oh,
Magnificent.
that's
and
so nice.
It's a problem. Because the Magnificent not only is getting good reviews, but it's got the dark board and the bright dice, and visually was too good to pass up. Seems silly, but
I've bought games for less, so.
Darwin's Journey, I'm excited about that one.
on
I was looking
Kickstarter.
at that. That one looked like it's going to be fun.
This one seemed more like about his discovery within the island, discovering all the different species of animals and stuff. So when I looked into Discovery again.
I don't buy a lot of Kickstarter games, so you said you were doing this podcast, and I had to look up to see if I had any on the way, and apparently I do, so I've got to... That's what I like about Kickstarter, is it's like, you get all excited about it, and then you just have to put it out of your mind, because it's not going to happen for a while,
Monique,
right?
this Kickstarter was originally back when you were in kindergarten.
Exactly. So it looks like I have Intrepid and Dinosaur World coming, so... I was like, what is even Intrepid? I had to look at what apparently it's something space themed, which I don't normally go for, so that surprised me. And Dinosaur World, I love dinosaurs and anything to do with dinosaurs, so that's fun.
So did you do the roaring ride as well?
Yeah, I did. I did excited about that. I didn't forget about that one, but most of the time I forget, and then something shows up, or I get an email that something's coming, and I think, oh, forgot about that. It's like Christmas. I love it. So it's a present to myself. Kind of like someone I know that wraps presents to herself under the tree.
I do that too.
Thanks, Santa! And my husband's like, you didn't know about this game? And I'm like, no.
It was nice because this last Christmas I was in charge of buying all the gifts. It was a great Christmas for me. I got like 6 games.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Games are so fun at Christmas.
When your family does the research, sometimes we get some doozies, some losers in there. My husband knows how to look up BGG now and see what my wish list is.
Yeah, this last Christmas,
Oh,
she's
that's
like,
nice.
did Eric, has he texted you yet? And I'm like, nope. No.
Because I could see some boxes coming and they felt like games when you shake them.
And my husband always texts these guys like, what should I buy?
All right, Sarah.
So the only Kickstarter I've ever done was that game, Lisboa. And so that was quite the disappointment. So now I just wait to see if I like them and then I buy them. But just recently I've bought The Wonderful World. That's a really good one. I bought it for Linda for her birthday too, because it's such a great one. These guys just taught us Brussels, the card game. It's complicated, but fun. It takes a while. What is it compared to the regular game? Because I've never played the regular Brussels.
It streamlines it a little bit.
Okay.
It's cheaper and it's cards, but they place the whole board out with cards.
And
Very
I love
compact.
that. So I just bought that. So I brought my new game this time so that we could play it with somebody because I really like that game. We talked about Underwater Cities. Really like that one. Every once in a while I just go in the closet and just look at different games. A lot of the games that I bought were older ones that Julie had. I bought that desert one with the little camels.
Through the desert.
Yeah, I can never remember
The bubblegum game.
I'm the oldest person in the game group.
I can't
That's my
remember
excuse.
I like that you have to translate that. Like, what do I mean by this?
I know,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Anyway, it's just fun to have new games. I do unwrap them the minute they get there, unless someone's watching. But...
Or in her car.
It's like sneaking fries out of the fast food bag.
Oh, that siesta game?
Crack.
What is it?
No siesta.
No siesta. I lost a piece in my car because I opened it in my car and then vacuumed my car out.
Oh no.
Or no, it was in your car. And you
No, it
vacuumed
wasn't in my
out.
car.
Are you sure?
You were driving down the road and opening games. And I think she stopped and it spilled. And
And I didn't realize the little green one was gone. But...
That's excitement about games. You can't even wait to get home. Like opening. I don't care if I crash.
Don't care if people are honking behind me.
I care more that I lost a piece.
Yeah, exactly. Claudine had placed an order and I was going home from your house. It was the windy canyon roads and...
So an ideal time to be distracted while driving.
And the deer that pop out on that road.
Oh, I know.
So my issue with games is I get a new game, I'll unwrap it, and I don't punch it, but I'll take the rules out, and then I'll lose the rules.
Oh.
I'm terrible at that. You know, it's like at my desk at work, we're remodeling our office area and cleaning out some of the stuff, and there was like 3 rules
Oh, God.
that I found at
You're
work.
like, dude.
That's disrespect for the game. The rules is a big one.
The thing is, then you would have the game components, but you wouldn't have the rules. I don't like rules, and you could probably make it a better game.
Well, the fortunate thing is that most of those rules you'd be able to find on BGG.
Oh,
yeah, we
that's
left
true.
my St. Petersburg rules
yeah.
at a restaurant one day, and I got home and thought, oh no, I don't. Well, at least it's just the rules. You just print them off.
Yeah, you can print them off. So it's...
You don't like to play by the rules, so yeah, you'd do better with just make up your own rules.
Exactly.
We could have a whole thing where we just show you a game, and you're like,
Teach us how to play.
I think this is how it...
Everybody starts with $1 million.
Yes.
Julie and Claudine used to get sick of me being like, let's just start playing. Playing is what teaches you more than anything, and I don't like listening to the rules.
So
Probably
we'd
the
get
ADD.
partway through and she'd like, let's just play. So one time I called her on a bluff. I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and play.
go
Go
first.
ahead. Well,
okay.
Finish some rules.
I split the difference because I'm more on Sarah's, but where I want to experience it more while I'm learning. But I always opt for more people ahead of me to start. I'll be like, okay, Julie, you go first. And so then I know that there's like 2 or 3 turns before it gets to me, so I actually get the feel of it.
Plus,
more.
then you'll get more money or whatever, more something because you're last.
Sometimes,
usually.
some other games
it
don't.
doesn't work out.
More turns to be able to see something before I have to make it. If I'm being taught a game, that's how I like to do it.
And sometimes you just have to listen to the general overview of it and just know. If I just get an overview of it, then as we go, you can add a little more in. Or if you have forgotten a rule, like Nathan does.
I'm sitting right here. I
you
usually
just
remember it
add those-
around scoring time.
Oh, by the way.
Sarah, what was the last game you bought?
The last game I bought was Brussels, the card game.
The card game?
Underwater, It's a Wonderful World. Well, that was last year.
And Nova Luna was pretty
Oh,
nice.
Nova. Well, that you gave that to me for my birthday. Nova Luna is my newest game.
That's a great game. I really like Nova Luna.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
That's
a
one
really
that plays
fun game.
actually pretty well solo.
Oh, nice. Going down my Amazon list, and I'm like, where's some games that I bought recently? I like to buy them from game stores too.
Well, good for you.
There's no mysterious shipping that way.
So she can open them in the car, that's why.
Thanks, Marissa.
You bet.
I don't know. We'll play a game and I'll be like, do I have that one yet? And I just hurry and order it. Got in my cart Grand Austria Hotel because that is a fantastic game, but it keeps going up and down and I'm like, I'll just wait because I think, do we have 2 games?
At least 2.
Yeah, we have at least 2.
But
I don't know if
I
we
hadn't
have
ever
or
played
not.
it because Linda didn't like it when she played it. And so, but these guys talked me into it when we had
fun.
3 and it was amazing. I love that game. It doesn't seem like there's as many new games coming out this year. Like
there
There's a ton of new games coming
well,
out.
then we haven't heard about them.
We actually had this
We
plan.
actually
Maybe we
had-
should out our plan.
We usually buy the games and prep the games. When did it come up?
January, when we were making our 10 by 10, I think.
And we're like, do they even know how hard it is to
We know.
research it?
It's very
And
hard.
Occasionally people will say, well, I'd like to play this game again and again, or let's play some games that we already know. And so
Like
we kind
for
of
the
came up with
second
the
time.
plan this year. Let's just see how long it takes them to realize that we haven't taught them a new game this year.
I have been thinking we're playing games twice. I guess new games aren't coming out this year.
We wanted to see how long it would take, and then I kind of ruined it with Brussels. We played Brussels, but we hadn't played the card game of it. Kind of bridged over the middle.
For you guys to realize that we hadn't taught a new game.
Oh, that's so funny. I was noticing that we were playing games more than once, and I was like, this is awesome, but
As long as you're happy.
I wouldn't mind learning new ones either, so.
That's why I set my 10 for 10, so I have those 10 games.
Our 10 for 10.
I bully these guys into their 10 for 10. But then I open up, plan to play a total of 30 games at least 10 times throughout the year.
Wow.
So 10 games are set.
Wait.
3 10.
He's getting further.
There's the 10 for 10 that are the set 10 games. And then I just open it up, the other 30 to just happen naturally. Something new will come out and we'll start to play it. We like to get it to the table more often. I try to encourage that. If that doesn't happen, then I look for a solo online option with Dave even. Kind of expands on that to make sure that I'm meeting those goals. Talking earlier before the podcast about having some themes. Escape room style games like Unlock, Deckscape, Break In, any of those. Trying to do 10 of those. 10 from the Clank family. Slated at least 300 games that we need to play. An overall gaming goal of 500 for the year.
It's a good goal. Yeah, it's a great goal.
Never thought of having gaming goals. This is a whole new
these
thing.
guys always have
I might think of having a gaming goal.
I started tracking games, and tracking games has instantly led to creating game goals. So I use BG Stats, which is the Android version, and I think it's the same thing.
Same
that
for iOS, yeah.
It syncs with BGG, so all my games show up there. Whenever I buy a game, I can just add it through the app. It's really slick, so it just shows everything that I'm playing. It allows me to input my goals, my challenges, list those, and it gives me little progress bars, what I'm playing. 10 plays of Clank. I'm at 0 currently. 10 games that I pull off my shelf of shame. And then I have 150 games with my wife. 40 new games. That was kind of a new one this year. Is I wanted to play 40 games that recording of play for the first time.
And this is in 1 year?
Yeah.
See why they're at the mercy of...
Yeah.
Do you have a job, Nathan?
I do, yeah.
What's the game's Teotihuacan?
Teotihuacan.
Tekenyu.
Okay,
is the
and
new one
Tekenyu
you
is
played.
the new one. So, and what's the first one?
Zulkan.
The trilogy, Zulkan. I love that trilogy. So I bought that.
Well, she was going to buy it. And it's one of those games that my family won't play. And so our game group really only needs 1 copy if it's only going to be played amongst us. And she's like, I've got it in my cart. And Julie's like, why don't you just buy Claudine's? And she's like, okay. And I'm like, okay.
Claudine's was half as much.
And then she still gets to play it.
I
So
still
it's a
get to
win-win.
play it.
We went on a trip and took it, and it got water on it.
Whoa. Oh, yeah.
Respect.
That was sad.
It's still okay.
It's kind of funny. You talk about respect the game and a huge comic book collection. That's something. They're all in acid-free backboards and individual bags protected in long boxes. So this is something that you take very good care of. Yeah. And my daughter wanted an old comic for a college class as part of a presentation. She wants to take one of these, and I'm like, okay, what one do you want to take? And
is it in a glass case?
And so, she took one of my old Spider-Man. It was number 29, valued at $1,500.
Wow.
And so I'm like, okay, so you're going to take this. You can't put it in your backpack. You're going to have to take this hard, like a briefcase that you're going to have to carry the comic in so that it's going to be protected. That's something that's very particular about that.
So she didn't ruin it. I was waiting for the...
Okay. I was waiting for her to say, never mind. I'm not taking it.
I was waiting for her McDonald's drink to spill in it or something.
No.
I was waiting for him to say, well, how about this other issue?
Yeah, this is my old one that I just bought for $12.
No, that did come back safe. Games.
Well, it's hard to transport them because you're like, they might come back dinged on the corner or something.
I don't care anymore.
Oh, don't you?
Nothing makes me cringe more when somebody curls my cards. It's funny, my wife is far more protective of my games than I am. So if the corner of the box splits, throw duct tape on it. I don't care.
Not even clear tape?
Clear tape peels off sometimes. So.
You have to understand that everything you guys do is much fancier than anything we do.
We're a little bit too much extra sometimes.
Looking at the table upstairs, we just got snacks and it looks all pretty and everything. Andy and I would have been fine just throwing it out on the table.
Just throwing a paper plate.
Our family always has a family reunion every year, and I bring games, but I don't want the kids to get to them, just to play with my sisters or something. One year, I guess the kids had gotten to them, and I heard my son Dallin out there. Guys, do you know how much these games cost my mom? Don't touch them. I was like, good job, Dallin.
Well, excellent. I think we've talked enough. Let's get playing some games.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yes. Woo! Can't wait. We should do this twice a year, not once.
To check with Andy and Sabrina and see if that's okay.
We could do it up in our neck of the woods, too.
Yeah, that'd be great, too.
We're always good, so.
And we are the hosts of Meeple Nation.
Until next time.
Am I late?
No, do that. Until next time. That's where we're at.
Until next time.
We'll see you at the game table.